you go to the toilet for 30 hours, and of course you will lose weight. What is the best exercise for my abs, or how I can get rid of the belly? That's how you become shapeless. Be careful with the fruits. If I want to eat something sweet, I eat something sweet. The problem is not the answers, the problem is the questions that people ask when they want to achieve success. Hello and welcome to today's video. Welcome to my 100-day transformation, where only in 100 days I turn myself from this into the top fitness model shape. Today we'll be talking about the nutrition, the foundation of our program. We have 3 levels in our program. We have beginner, medium and advanced level. So in our beginner level, I try to combine all possible information in just 3 videos, even though it's not very short videos, but it's more than enough for people with excess weight to achieve success and get this good looking body. And you asked me to show my current shape, so here we go. Let's see what we got. Right, so you can see that what my shape looks like at the moment. And remember I said that never judge yourself by the scale. Always judge yourself by the way how you look, in the way how you feel. In our program, most importantly, we want to change the body composition. We want to gain as much muscles as possible and burn our fat if you want to be looking great, right? So at the moment I'm on a strength period, and I try to gain as much muscles as possible. That will help me later to burn my fat, because my BMR will, I will increase my BMR. And once a week I put myself on a scale and I measure my waist, right? So only once a week. And if I see that my weight remains the same, but I'm losing inches from my waist, that means I do everything right. I'm changing my body composition. That means I'm gaining muscles and I'm losing weight from the right areas. I'm losing fat. So let's remind ourselves very quickly the most important aspects of our program. The first video was all about the cardio. Basically, it's the best way to start losing weight, especially if your body weight is too high. And we have a few rules how we're going to do the cardio. So rule number 1, we always increase the intensity. For example, you do cardio every day for about 1 hour. And the first day it's very hard for you, so you do only 3 miles. The next day you do 3.5 miles, then you do 4 miles, then 5 miles, then 10 miles. So you always increase the intensity, and that's how you will avoid adaptation and start burning more fat. By the way, about the fat burning, rule number 2, we don't eat anything else straight after our workout, because when we're doing the cardio, we burn our muscular fat, and if you don't eat anything after workout, we compensate our muscular fat from the belly fat. So that's how you actually burn your belly fat. So 40-60 minutes, no food. Right, so moving on, weight training. When you put yourself on a calorie deficit, your body, first thing that your body is going to do is actually get rid of as much muscles as possible, and that's how you become shapeless. So to avoid that, we need to give our body a very good reason to keep those muscles, and it will be nice if we can build a little bit more. So we're going to do weight training. Rule number 1, we do full body circuit training about 2-3 times a week. So we use our biggest muscle group, our legs, our back and our chest. And rule number 2, the most important of this workout, that we have to progress in our strength. So every workout you write down your results, and every next workout you try to lift a little bit more. You increase the intensity, you increase your strength, and that's how you will stimulate your central nerve system and produce more hormones that help you to build those muscles and burn your belly fat. Right, nutrition. So a lot of people ask me what is the best exercise for my abs, or how I can get rid of the belly, and they get very frustrated when I say, well, the best abs are made in the kitchen. I mean, it's so obvious that you have to control what you eat, and actually the exercise burns very little amount of calories. We need exercise to build more muscles and have this good looking body, develop the good looking shape. But if you want to burn fat, if you want to lose weight, the nutrition, that's what you should be focusing on. So we're going to use Pareto's rule. That means we're going to do 20% of the effort that give us 80% of the results. So as we have 3 levels in our program, we'll be using 3 different types of the diet, and each diet has a purpose. For example, on the level number 1, we're going to use the straight line diet, the zone diet. It's more like balanced nutrition plan with the carbs, protein and fat, with the food that you like, and you just slightly put yourself in a calorie deficit. So this type of the diet will help to bring your body fat down to the functional norm. For men about 15%, for ladies 18-20% of the body fat. If you have more fat percentage than this number, don't do anything else, just go with the straight line diet and just slightly put yourself on a calorie deficit. Then if you want to aggravate your result, if you want to have a six-pack and bring your body fat from 15 down to 10%, we're going to start the rotation diet. So on a level number 2, we're going to manipulate and work with our macros, our carbs and our protein, and trick our body that will help us to build more muscles and burn our fat. And level number 3, the advanced level, the professional level, it's just something extra that help us to bring our fat from 10% down to 5%. So we're gonna start with the keto diet. Basically, our body works on the carbs, which is the sugar, and when we remove all the carbs from our body, from our nutrition, we're gonna start working on our fat. So we're gonna change the type of fuel that we use, and this will help us to cut last layer of our body fat. And basically, why am I even doing this project? Because if you go on the street and you ask anyone knows that if you wanna lose weight, you have to diet, you have to exercise, but for some reason, 95% of the people don't have any result, or they have very temporary result. They lose weight, but then it goes back again. Do you know what is the main problem for people with excess weight? They wanna lose weight. They go extreme. They think, oh, why would I start with level number 1? I'm gonna start with a keto diet, level number 3, because it will help me to burn my fat faster. Well, you can't break first law of thermodynamics and burn fat faster than it can be burned. If you have excess weight, doesn't matter if you use this diet or this diet, the speed of your fat burn will be pretty much the same, but the way how you will feel on these diets will be completely the opposite. This diet, again, it's small nutrition plan that you can hold all your life. 90% of people, it's more than enough to achieve success, and this diet I hold all my life that helps me to keep my body fat into the normal range. I enjoy my life, I eat whatever I want, I'm not struggling. And the keto diet is just something extra that helps you to cut the last layer of your body fat. Right, so before we start with the nutrition plan, let's go through common mistakes people do when they want to lose weight. Right, so mistake number 1, people believe that the diet means starving. I will show you something that explains you why the typical diet doesn't work and actually makes everything even worse and make you gain weight. Right, so when it comes to the weight loss, it's all about calories in versus calories out, and exactly the opposite when we gain weight. So this is your BMR, every day you spend some calories, and this is your calories out. And every day you eat a little bit more calories, and that's how very slowly, year by year, you gain weight, and then you realize, oh my god, I have a fat ass. And what most people do, yes, they put themselves on a strict diet and extremely reducing the calories. And here we have something called calorie overspend. So that means when you're extremely reducing the calories and you see the first results, it's very easy to lose a lot of weight in the beginning, but don't be very happy, it's not your fat. You get rid of a lot of glycogen, and glycogen holds the water, because when you don't have a carbs in your diet, you spend all the glycogen, you don't refill them, so you will lose about 3, 4, maybe 5 kilograms in just 1 week, and then you start breaking down your muscles, because the muscles is the most metabolic tissue, and your metabolism starts slowing down. So when your metabolism starts slowing down, you need less and less calories in order to see a further result, but you can't hold this diet forever because it's unhealthy. Here you have something called a plateau. That means your body now in survival mode, and you feel a lot of stress. You can't hold this diet forever. And of course, what you're gonna do, you're gonna break and you're gonna start eating whatever you want, whatever you wanted to eat all this last day, all this previous day on your diet, and you can refill all those calories basically in just 1 day. But what's going on with your metabolism? It's still down because it's way more harder to gain those muscles back. And here we have something called calories overconsumed. So we overconsume calories here, and all calories that we consume over here will go directly to our fat.
What's the status? He's getting fatter. We can't stop it. Damn.
Blood pressure 200 on 140. I'm getting out of here!
Because our body's still in the survival mode, and it realized that you need to survive, and all those calories will go to your fat in order to provide you life. Right, so mistake number 2, magic pills, one of my favorites. So a lot of people searching for some magic pill that can burn the fat and solve all the problems. And basically we can divide the magic pills or fat burning pills into three main groups. So group number one, diuretics. Basically all these pills remove the water from your body and definitely it's not gonna be a fat. Next group, laxatives. Well, I don't think I need to explain you what it is. Basically, you go to the toilet for 30 hours and of course you will lose weight, but what kind of weight it's gonna be? And three is something like appetite blockators. So basically the pills that affect in your central nerve system and your sympathetic parasympathetic nerve system. That means you don't feel that hunger. So yes, if you use those tablets, basically you go to the toilet, you remove all the water, you don't eat anything, and of course you will lose weight, but it's definitely not going to be a fat, and you will achieve very temporary result. And I'm not even saying about the benefits that you will achieve after this treatment. Right, so mistake number three, pineapple and grapefruits burn fat. I don't know who created this myth, maybe the pineapple and grapefruit sailors, but it has nothing to do with your fat burning, with your lipolysis. Well, grapefruit is a great antioxidant and extremely good for your liver, and the liver burns the fat, so it kind of makes sense, but again, directly, there is no food in the world that can directly burn your fat. Mistake number four, yogurt and mueslis is a dietary food. When you take any yogurt, you see a nice slim lady, and if you see added with multivitamins or something like this, you go crazy, right? It's extremely good dietary food, and you feel so light when you take this yogurt and mueslis. You feel so much energy. Of course you will feel so much energy because there's so much sugar in it. So it has nothing in common with the diet. Right, so myth number five, if you eat meat, you will gain weight. If you eat fruits and vegetables, you will lose weight. Number one rule that, again, you just have to keep your calories and macros under control, and the meat is the most important macros. It's a protein, the protein we need for our muscles, for our vital organs, for the skin, for everything. And the protein has the highest step, up to 30%. That means 30% of the calories from the food that you eat, if it's meat, will go to break down and digest this food. And the fruits, basically, they don't even spike your insulin level, so you can eat insane amount of fruits and won't even notice that you're full. And that's how you will achieve extremely a lot of calories in your diet. And a few myths about the workouts. So myth number one, crunches burn belly fat. I kind of understand where is it coming from, because when you working out hard and you want to burn your belly and you feel that it's so much pain when you're doing crunches, you feel, oh, if it's burned, I'm burning my belly fat. But I mean, really? Anyway, myth number two, when you sweat, if you sweat more, that means you burn more fat. Some people believe that the sweat is actually the fat that melting and goes away from your body. Really? I mean, when you sweat, it's just the water retention in your body. If you drink more water, then you sweat. Your sweat helps you to keep your body temperature under control. This is it. Sometimes when I do high-intensity workouts, I'm barely sweating, and it's not because it's not productive high-intensity workouts. Just my water retention in my body. Myth number three, side crunches or bends will help you to achieve smaller waist. Again, something like crunches helps to burn belly fat, but it's like, I would say, when I train my biceps and if it burns, that means I'm losing weight from my biceps. Like, you see, it doesn't make any sense. When you do side crunch, you actually gaining more mass, especially because you train your muscles. You can't exercise your fat. Right, finish with this. Hope you understand everything and basically where all this coming from. You think that it's just tricky trainers that try to sell you the programs and magic pills, but the problem is not the answers. The problem is the questions that people ask when they want to achieve success. A lot of people actually are searching for a quick and fast solution that can solve all the problems. Some magic pills, some exercise, some food that they can eat, and they immediately start losing weight. And Trainers just give you what you want. So the problem is not the answers, the problem is the questions that you ask. And that's exactly why I'm doing this video and this project, to bring you a real knowledge that based on science and not on science fiction. So if you don't want to waste your time and you want to achieve real results, just do what I show you in this video. So finish with this. Let's start with our nutrition plan. So any nutrition program starts with counting calories. I know you hate counting calories, and I'm exactly the same, but at least once we have to count the calories because we have to put ourselves in a calorie deficit for about 10%. So we have to find out how much calories we need. We need to find out what is our basal metabolic rate. So we have a few ways how we can find out how much calories we need a day. One way, simple but not very accurate, and another way is complicated but very accurate. And guess which way most people will go? Of course, complicated and accurate. Right, so way number one, simple, not accurate. You multiply your body weight in kilograms, kg, by 20 or 30. So when it's 20, when it's 30. For low active ladies, you multiply your body weight by 20 for active ladies, that's on the top. You multiply your body weight by 24, 26 for low active men. You multiply body weight by 25 for active men, by 30. For example, my body weight is 88 kg, and I try to be more active. I exercise about 3-4 times a week, and I multiply by 28, because 30 it's like when you exercise 5-6 times a week. And it will give me the number in 2,464 calories. So this is the amount of calories that I need to eat every day. And in order to me to start losing weight, I just minus 10%, which is roughly 250 calories. So my total calorie intake in order for me to lose weight will be 2,200 calories, and that's how slowly but steady I will lose my weight. I gain more muscle, so that's the number that I should be eating every day. Right, so again, this approximate number, and at the end of the week you weigh yourself, you measure your waist, and if you start losing weight, perfect, just keep this number. If your weight doesn't shift, or for example, your weight doesn't shift but you're losing inches from your waist, it's still perfect. That means you're gaining more muscles because you're doing workouts. But if your weight is the same, or even if you gain a little bit more weight, if you don't losing weight inches from your waist, that means you have to eat even less than this number. So always adapt your eating plan if you use this type of the method to find out your calories. Right, so way number two, my favorite individual. So every day you count the amount of calories that you eat with the food that you like. You not limiting yourself in the food, you just eat whatever you want, and you're just counting calories every single day. For example, day number one, you eat 1,546 calories. Day number two, 2,184 calories, and etc. Day three, and on day 7 you have a cheat meal, you go to McDonald's, you eat cakes. So for example, 2,871 calories. So we count calories every single day, and we have a total number in. So the total number we have in 14,164 calories a week, and you just split into 7. So on a daily basis you have to eat about 2,023 calories. So this is your number, and you just put yourself in the calorie deficit, so your total calorie intake, for example, it has to be 1,800 calories a day in order for you to lose weight, right? So this is the best way how you can find out exactly how much calories you need. And one more way that you can go, a BCA test or body composition analysis. It will show you exactly how much muscles, how much fat, and what do you have in your body, and what is your BMR. For example, I have my test here that I've done about 1 year ago. See, so in-body test, and basically this is the numbers that I'm focusing on right now, because here my body weight, where is it? Yeah, my body fat in mass 9.8, and in percentage, yes, I have 11.7%, so I'm pretty much lean. And if I want to cut more, I go with rotation diet and then a keto diet. So that's the number I'm aiming, and my metabolic rate is 1968 calories. So that's the amount of calories that I need in order to keep this shape, right? So you can see that's the most accurate test, but also the individual approach will give you sometimes even better result than BCA test if you want to find out how much calories you need exactly. Right, so since we found out our calories, let's discuss what type of food we have to eat, and let's go with our macros. Alright, number 2, let's start with our macros. We have basically 3 main macros: carbs, protein, and fat, and we have alcohol that can transform into carbs. But if we want to have a balance, because in the beginning level we have a balance in nutrients, so we're supposed to have about 40% of our carbs, 30% of the protein, and 30% of the fat. You might think, oh, it's quite a lot, 30% of the fat, and but again, it's not a grams, it's a percentage. In 1 gram of fat we have 9 calories, so you will eat more than twice less of the protein, but it will give you exactly pretty much the same calorie intake. So when we start exercising, we have to add more protein. So the protein is the most important macros. It's our building material for our muscles, for our vital organs, for the skin, for basically everything. So we keep our proteins no matter what. The fat, we remain the same. The fat is the second most important macros because it's very important for our joints, lubrication for our joints, for our lungs, for our immune system. Cholesterol that most people are scared of. The cholesterol helps you with lubrication, and it creates the membrane of your cell, of your nerve system, of your nerve signal. And your brain, for example, is the fattest organ in your body. So we have to keep our fats, but with the carbs we can manipulate, and if we want to aggravate our fat burning process, we can work with our carbs and eat a little bit less to achieve more and more success. So since we found how much percentage of the macros we need in our eating plan, let's find out what type of food we should be eating if you want to lose weight. So I want to give you the examples of good and bad food, but it's not very scientific approach. I mean, why is a burger, for example, the bad food? Because there's a lot of calories in it? Or for example, banana is good for us. Why we have a good and bad food? The only difference is a macro percentage and the amount of calories. And basically calories don't care if they're healthy or not, right? So if you want to lose weight, if you want to do it properly, we have to start thinking differently. We have to start thinking what is efficient and what is not efficient for us. For example, if you think what is efficient in our fat, everyone knows that good fats is nuts, seeds, olive oil. But for example, you have a salad, and if you start thinking efficiently, what would you choose for your dressing? Olive oil or bad, unhealthy mayonnaise? Well, the mayonnaise is more efficient for us because there's 3 times less calories than in olive oil. But yes, it's unhealthy, it's a bad food, and better go with the Greek yogurt where even less calories. Or for example, when it's summer, I have fresh vegetables, I just smash my tomatoes, I don't add anything extra, and it's very tasty. So I don't add olive oil because it's just extra calories that I won't even notice. So just something that you can think about. Or for example, when it comes to the carbs, from the physics perspective, doesn't matter where those calories are coming from. If you eat less than you spend, if you put yourself in a deficit, you will lose weight anyway. And it doesn't matter if you eat chocolate or oatmeal. But from the physiology and biochemistry point of view, it's two completely different conceptions. Or for example, the fruits and marshmallows. Everyone knows that the fruits, it's healthy, it's natural, it's good for us, and marshmallows is refined sugar. But again, what's going on in our body when we eat fruits or marshmallows? I did an experiment in my Instagram and asked people what would you choose for your snack? The fruits, for example, grapes or marshmallows, if you want to lose weight. And a lot of people, of course, went with the fruits. But again, I wouldn't go with any of it, but let me explain what's going on when you eat fruits and when you eat pure sugar. If we look what is going on in our body from the physiology point of view, we have two different types of the glycogen. So we have a liver glycogen and we have muscular glycogen. So the fructose that is in the fruits converts into the liver glycogen. And liver glycogen controls the blood glucose level, and mushrooms or pure sugar goes to our muscular glycogen. So this is two completely different glycogen that can't be transformed into each other. The muscular glycogen can't be transformed into the liver glycogen. The liver glycogen can't be transformed into the muscular glycogen. So when we eat fruits, the fructose goes to refill your liver glycogen, and your liver glycogen is only about 17-90 grams. So when your liver is full, the extra fructose will go to your fat. And the tricky thing, when you eat fruits, it doesn't spike your insulin level. So you're not producing the hormones that make you feel full, like ghrelin and leptin. So if you look at muscles, for example, the muscular glycogen is about 400-700 grams. So you see almost 10 times more amount of the glycogen than the liver. So when we exercise, we spend our muscular glycogen, and when we eat carbs, these carbs go into our muscular glycogen. So basically when you eat a sugar, but again, when you're not mixing this with the fat because it's different density, when you eat a pure sugar, it goes to your muscular glycogen to refill it. So you can eat much more simple refined sugars than the actual fruits. Yes, nothing's gonna happen with you if you eat a few fruits, if you eat a few apples, but just something that you have to think about. Be careful with the fruits. Some people believe, you can eat as many fruits as possible. But honestly, I wouldn't go with any of it. I don't know why the banana is so popular when you start exercising. Well, actually I know, because when the tennis players, they exercising, they training, they don't need a good body, they don't want to look great, they need a lot of energy to have a good performance. And that's why they eat the banana to release a lot of sugar, to have a lot of energy inside. So the banana has high glycemic index, and some people think that banana is good because they have a lot of calcium. But in spinach, there's about 8 times more calcium than in banana. So if you want to have a lot of vitamins in your nutrition, eat vegetables, not fruits, especially green and white vegetables. In the next video, I will give you the examples that I use as my snack to feel full and at the same time to trick my body that I'm not struggling on this diet. Or for example, if we compare the potato with a lot of starch and rice, the favorite food of the bodybuilders, right? A healthy carb. But if we think what is efficient, what is not efficient, if you compare the potato and the rice, the potato wins in macro, micro elements inside and vitamins inside. And for example, the saturation, the potato has 46 and the rice only 27. So the saturation of the rice will be twice lower than from the potato. That means we can eat less amount of potato and feel much more comfortable. Then if you compare the food density, the potato has 2.5 and the rice only 2.1. So again, the potato wins the rice. And you might think, oh, which type of rice we're talking about, the white or brown rice? Even the brown rice will still lose the potato. From the calorie point of view, it doesn't matter if you eat fast food or if you eat healthy food, but with the saturation, with the food density, how you will feel, how you will hold this diet will make a huge difference. So I will send to you the link with the website that you can find any type of food and compare if you want to eat something. So always go with the food where there's a lot of macros and micros element, a lot of saturation, the food density, and a little amount of calories. Right, so when it comes to the protein, again, basically we have two types of the protein, good and bad, but again, there is no good and bad food. The good protein can be considered as a chicken, eggs or egg whites, still can fish. Why? Because there's a little amount of fat, animal fat, and everyone knows that the animal fat is bad for us because it increases our cholesterol. But as I mentioned before, we need this cholesterol anyway. So if you don't eat this with your food, your body will produce the cholesterol anyway. Right, so when it comes to the protein, we just eat lean protein because in 1 gram of fat, we have 9 calories. So the only difference, we just try to keep our calories under control, and that's why we don't go with the pork, with the beef, with the sausages, because there's a lot of fat inside that will increase our calorie intake. And a popular question, for example, if I'm vegan or vegetarian, if I don't eat meat or I don't eat any of it, I don't eat even dairy, what can I do about it? Basically, the protein is amino acids. We have about 22 amino acids and 9 of them are essential. That means our body can't produce these amino acids, we can only get them from the food. And if you don't eat these essential amino acids, that means your body will fall apart because it's our building material. So if you're vegan or vegetarian, if you don't eat meat, it's super simple. We have protein in carbs, and basically, yes, of course, carbs have very poor amino acid profile, but if you eat different type of the food, different types of the carbs, you will have a full amino acid profile. So for example, in the grains, we have a lot of lysine, but little amount of methionine. And in the beans, we have exactly the opposite. So we have little amount of lysine and high amount of methionine. So if you combine this, you will achieve more complicated amino acid profile, which is good for us. So if you're vegan or vegetarian, just eat different amount of carbs, different amount of food, and that's how you will end up having more complete amino acid profile. So you will achieve pretty much the same results if you eat meat. But the only difference from the meat, it's just more easier to achieve this amino acid. We finished with the fat. So the only thing I can suggest you about the fat, omega-3 fish oil. Basically, again, I don't add extra olive oil, I don't add extra nuts because it's just huge amount of calories that our body basically don't need a lot. And we have plenty of fats. Even this 30% of the fat we can achieve from the meat, from the carbs, and the only thing that you have to have in your eating plan is omega-3, about 5 up to 10 milligrams a day. But the only thing that I have to mention is trans fat. Things like margarine or bakery has a lot of margarine, and the margarine has a lot of trans fat. That means basically the trans fat is cheap fat. That means it's vegetable fat. By chemical reaction, it transforms into the animal fat, but it's like fake fat. And the problem of this fat, when we eat trans fat, it goes in our body and goes in our fat cell and stays there and poison our fat cell. And when we losing weight, we can't use this fat because it's a broken fat, it's a fake fat, and it's gonna be still there forever. So don't eat trans fat, don't eat margarine, don't eat bakery, especially this type of the bakery, you know, when it's like super soft and tasty. Right, the question is the amount of food that you have to have on your plate. We know that we have to have 40-30% of the macros, and let's say when you're busy, when you don't have time to count the calories, and understand how much carbs, how much protein you have to have on your plate. So if we have carbs, for example, this is 40% of our carbs, right, 40%. So the amount of carbs that I have to have on my plate will be the amount of my palm. So that's how much carbs I have to have on my plate. When we need 30% of the protein, something like this, the amount of protein to have a 30% will be the amount of my fish. So that's how much meat or fish I have to have on my plate in order to have a balance. So 1 fist. And the amount of fats to have a 30%, again in 1 gram of fat they have 9 calories. So the amount of fats will be 2 thumbs. Right, so again, it's not very accurate, but it's just something that you can keep in mind if you go out, if you travel, if you don't have a time to count all the calories. Alright, and let me show you what I eat on a daily basis. Well, I use minimalist approach. That means I'm not bothering myself with complicated receipts, and this is pretty much what I eat every day. I have 4 main meals and a couple of snacks in between. So let's start with my breakfast. I know it's a little bit weird, but it's just something what I like to eat, and I will explain you the logic why I choose this type of the food. So on the breakfast I eat a cottage cheese about 250 grams plus grapefruit 200 grams, Greek yogurt, honey or low calorie jam, plus I add 10 grams of the fibers. So basically it will give me total number of the calories in 555 of the protein, 45 of the carbs, 16 of the fat. So just balance, plus coffee, just balance breakfast that I'm enjoying to eat. So the cottage cheese, low fat cottage cheese is a great source of the protein, of course. The grapefruit, as I mentioned before, great antioxidant. I just like mixing these both. Just give me this nice weird taste that I enjoy. Plus Greek yogurt, again a little bit of more protein. This is honey or low calorie jam I like because it's sweet. 10 grams of the fibers, and I add fibers here and here. So I split 30 grams of the fibers throughout the day. Plus I take my supplements, omega-3, magnesium, 400 milligrams, vitamin C. You can add vitamin D or E. And on my lunch, I eat something what I called pizza omelet. So I use 4 whole eggs, 6 egg whites, plus 50 grams of low-fat beef, and I put salad as a pillow and put on the top my omelet. So this is giving me total number of the calories 380, 50 grams of the protein, 10 grams of the carbs, 18 grams of the fat. And again, I can sometimes change. I can eat on my breakfast, my lunch, the omelette, and then on my lunch I eat the cottage cheese. So again, I can rotate, I can change something. It's very flexible. This is why I don't say, I'm not saying this, this is why I don't call this the diet. It's more like the balanced nutrition that I can eat on a daily basis with the food that I enjoy. Right, so my dinner, I split in 2 pots because like I cook everything at once, and I just have dinner 1 and dinner 2. So on my dinner I use a chicken, 200 grams, beef 200 grams, Mexican mix 200 grams. So in the pack there's about 400 grams, so it's very simple. I just add half of the pack of the Mexican mix. And I divide into two meals, right? So the total number of these calories, 750, 100 grams of the protein, 30 grams of the carbs, 24 grams of the fat. But again, you just split everything. And my main carbs, buckwheat. So it's not very popular in Western world. It's quite expensive one, but in Russia and Ukraine it's very popular, and again it's one of the best carb source that you can add in your nutrition plan. Huge amount of vitamins, micro elements and macros inside. You can also use the rice or sweet potato. So I add 100 grams dry, and I spread my carbs throughout the day. I can add my buckwheat on a lunch, on first dinner or in second dinner. I'm not bothering myself. I just cook, and then if I feel that I wanna add more carbs, I just add more carbs. But this is just I eat something what I eat throughout the day. So the total amount of calories 350, 13 grams of the protein. Again, in carbs we have also the protein, and the buckwheat is one of the best source of the protein. 72 grams of the carbs and 3.4 grams of the fat. So this is what I eat on a daily basis, and again I can change sometimes something. I can, instead of the chicken, I can cook fish or basically whatever I want. I just count the amount of calories. And as a snack, I use dry breads with a low amount of calories, just something that I eat throughout the day, you know, to make me feel myself full. I always add a salad in basically all my meals. Eat as much vegetables as possible, but vegetables, I don't mean the tomatoes and cucumbers. I mean, you know, these green and white vegetables like onions, spinach, broccoli. This is what is the best vegetables that you can use with this. All right, so the total amount of calories a day, this gives me about 2060 calories a day, 250 grams of the protein, 180 grams of the carbs, and 61.4 grams of the fat. So you see that I mentioned that we're supposed to have about 40% of the carbs in our eating plan, 30% of the protein, 30% of the fat. But you can see that I have more protein than carbs. And the reason why, because I'm exercising right now a lot and I need more protein. But because I want to carb myself more, I try to keep my carbs under control. And a few days before Sunday, for example, on a Sunday I have one cheat meal. That means I can eat pretty much whatever I want. But on a Saturday, on a Friday, I lower my carbs. For example, I eat not 100 grams, but 50 grams of a buckwheat, and I remove, for example, something sweets from my breakfast. So I lower my carbs, and then I'm exercising hard, and now on a Sunday I can eat whatever I want and enjoy my life. All right, so before we go, let me give you a few examples or a few tips and life hacks that help you a lot to keep your calories under control and achieve the best success. What is supposed to be the most important meal of the day? Breakfast, we all know this, but why it is the most important meal? Because when you go to sleep, your body goes into the fast. So when you wake up, you want to break the fast. You want to break fast. That's where the name comes from. We all know this, right? Breakfast like a king, lunch like a prince, and a dinner like a pauper. But what are we doing, a lot of us? We eat a small little breakfast, sometimes not at all, slightly bigger lunch, and a dinner, we just go for it, massive, right? So what's gonna happen if you keep on eating like this? Eventually, you start looking like that. All right, so let's go with our top rules that will help you to have a nice, good-looking body like this. Rule number one, always have enough protein. The protein is your building material, at least 2 grams of protein per 1 kilograms of your body weight or 2 pounds of your body weight. So when you exercise, you add more protein because you stop the muscular synthesis. And if you don't eat enough protein and you exercise, you start breaking down the protein from your vital organs. And the rule number two, have enough complex carbs like oats, buckwheat, brown rice, enough vegetables. The complex carbs will help you to keep yourself full throughout the day, and also this is our energy. If you reduce the amount of carbs in your eating plan, especially if your body weight is too high, you start getting rid of a lot of the glycogen, and then you start breaking down your muscles because you can't do the proper exercises. So always have enough carbs and complex carbs. Omega-3 fish oil, again, I'm not going to go into this right now. This omega-3 has a huge variety of the benefits, and I will set up a special video about this supplement. Then always have enough vitamins, magnesium 400 milligrams, vitamin C, D, E, zinc, selenium. So basically I gave all the list of the supplements that you must have in your nutrition plan. Now, the water. Water is actually one of the most important things for us, for our metabolism. It helps us to hydrate our body, and it takes huge part in your lipolysis. If you don't drink enough water, basically, in a simple words, you're decreasing your fat burning ability. So the water also helps you to remove all the toxins from your body through the kidneys and through your liver. So if I'm weighing 88 kilograms, that means I have to drink at least 3 water a day. So 1 liter per 30 kilograms. Then we have to eat about 4-6 times a day, again, to keep our metabolism pretty much high, keep our muscular synthesis and protein synthesis. Don't put all your calories in just 1 or 2 meals a day. So always spread throughout the day, but most importantly, feel yourself comfortable. And always have about 25% of your calories has to be on your breakfast. And the second most important meal, it's gonna be after your workout. So, one of the most important rules, we don't have to feel hunger on our diet. Again, if you feel that you're hungry, if you wanna eat something sweet, that means you reduce the amount of calories too much, so you have to add more carbs. And if you feel that you want to snack, if you want to eat something sweet, better go with the protein. You know, just eat a piece of meat, and that's how you will help yourself with this. And the last but not at least, the cheat meal. So have one cheat meal a week, because it's very important that you feel comfortable on this diet. So the cheat meal will help us to reset our nerve system, our mind, and start next week. I always do my cheat meal on Sundays, and it helps me to keep my diet very, very long. And the lower your body fat percentage, more often you will have your cheat meals. But we'll go into this later. I will have a special video about the cheat meals and refeeds. Right, so that was our top rules, and let me give you a few life hacks that will help you as well. Hack number one, let's say when you're rushing, when you're busy, you don't have time to eat balanced meals 4 to 6 times a day, you don't have time to count the calories, and you go back home, you eat a massive meal, and that's how you achieve this type of the shape. So to avoid that, eat some little snacks 15 minutes before your main meal. Why 15 minutes? You probably noticed that when you're super hungry, you start eating like crazy, you won't even feel this food, you don't even feel the satisfaction. Why? Because it takes time for your body to produce the hormones like insulin and the connection of the hunger hormones like ghrelin and leptin. So when you eat something, it takes 15 minutes to send the signal to your brain and shows you that you have a food in your stomach. So eat few apples 15 minutes before your actual meal, and this will help you a lot to keep your calories under control when you're busy, when you don't have time, and when you're extremely hungry. Tip number 2, always be slightly hungry. That means, you know, always leave the table with a light feeling of hunger. Even Arnold Schwarzenegger said that always be hungry, and some people believe he meant always be hungry for achievements, for goals, for hustling, but he actually meant always be slightly hungry, because when you're hungry, you have sympathetic and parasympathetic nerve system, and a sympathetic nerve system, that's something that makes you searching the food in the world, makes you be more active throughout the day, and this is how you spend more calories, and you always very, very active. You probably notice that when you eat a lot of food with a lot of calories, with a lot of fat and carbs, you feel lazy, you want to take a nap, because now your parasympathetic nerve system works. That means you're relaxing, you don't have that hustle feeling. So when you're always hungry, it will help you a lot with your goals and spend more calories throughout the day. Hack number 3, always check ingredients on the label, because there's something called merchandising. That means on the food, there's always some tricky thing that makes you buy this food. No added sugar, no gluten, low calories, but always check the ingredients and the amount of calories on the back side of the food. And simple rule, always keep your calories down, go with the food with less amount of calories. And hack number 4, enjoy your life. It's probably the most important hack. And remember, the best diet is always your personal one, that you can hold all your life without struggling with the food that you like. So basically, nutrition and exercises has to be on the second part for you. The most important has to be your family, your friends, and enjoy in your life. And if you feel that you're struggling, you're not enjoying your eating, you're not enjoying the exercise, that means you do something wrong. So, thank you. So, I'm not bothering myself. If I want to eat something sweet, I eat something sweet, but I know then I will go to the gym and I will exercise all these calories. So everything in moderation. Always have the balance in your life. All right, enjoy. See you.